What if I told you that 7 out of every 10 big projects at your company are probably doomed to fail? It's a pretty shocking thought, but it's the reality for most organizational change. And the reason? More often than not, it comes down to one single thing: leadership. So today, we're going to dive into the secrets of that successful 30%. We'll show you exactly how leaders can be the catalyst for change, not the anchor holding it back.
So, to get through the, often choppy waters of making a big change, you absolutely need a roadmap. Here are the 5 essential stops we'll be making today. Each one is a critical step in turning a risky transformation into a massive success.
Okay, first things first. Before we jump into all the solutions, let's get a really clear picture of the challenge we're up against. Because when we talk about organizational change, believe me, the stakes are sky high. Just look at this number for a second. 70%. That is not just a statistic, right? That's a graveyard of failed projects, wasted money, and honestly, demoralized teams. It's the stark reality that most companies are staring down when they try to make a major shift. And the fallout from these failures? It's not just about the bottom line. It gets personal. I mean, can you imagine being a CEO and losing your job just because you couldn't steer the ship through a necessary change? Well, that's the tough reality for almost a third of leaders who fumble these transitions. So, what's the secret sauce here? What do the leaders of that successful 30% know that everybody else doesn't? Well, it all kicks off with having a super clear and compelling destination in mind. Think about it. You would never ask your team to sail into a storm without a map and a destination, right? It's the exact same thing for organizational change. A compelling vision, that's your North Star. It's what guides everyone through the uncertainty and inspires the whole crew to stay on course. Alan Mulally, the guy who famously saved Ford from the brink of total collapse, he put it perfectly. A vision isn't some fluffy feel-good statement. No, it's a practical toolkit. You've got a compelling why, a really comprehensive plan, and a team of talented people all pulling in the same direction. So how do you actually build a vision that gets people to act? Well, it's kind of like a 3-act play. First, you've got to define the why. What's the core problem you're solving or the opportunity you're chasing? Then you connect that why to your company's bigger picture, its strategy. And finally, you set some real, tangible goals that become the milestones on your journey. Okay, but a brilliant vision, that's just the starting line. To really bring it to life, you have to win over the hearts and minds of your team. And that is where communication and trust become your most valuable assets, period. Now this slide, this is a total game changer. Just look at the difference a CEO's story can make. We're not talking about a tiny little bump here. We are talking about a 5 to 6 times increase in the odds of success. That is the incredible power of a leader who can tell a clear and compelling story. But here's the massive disconnect. While leaders think they're communicating their vision, employees clearly aren't getting the message. This huge communication gap, this is exactly where most change initiatives just fall flat on their face. And this slide right here shows the devastating results of that communication gap. The number one reason employees push back against change isn't because they're stubborn. Nope, it's because they don't trust their leaders. The equation's actually pretty simple. No communication means no trust, and no trust means no change. All right, so once you've built that solid foundation of trust, it's time to unleash the real power of your people. This is where you pivot from a top-down order to a grassroots movement, turning your employees from spectators into actual champions of the change. And the results of making this shift, they are absolutely staggering. I mean, look at this. When you empower your frontline employees, the people doing the actual work, you don't just get a little closer to success. You more than double your chances. That is a massive return for any leader who's willing to share some control. Now, empowerment isn't just about handing over the keys and, hoping for the best. It is a very deliberate process. You give your team a real stake in the outcome, you equip them with the tools and training they need to actually succeed, you clear the path of any red tape, and you make sure to celebrate their wins along the way. So we've built the vision, we've earned the trust, and we've empowered the team. Now for the final, and maybe the most crucial piece of the puzzle, making it all stick. This is where leaders turn a temporary project into a permanent part of the company's DNA. As a leader, you have to remember your team has a built-in hypocrisy detector. They are not just listening to what you say, they are watching every single thing you do. When your actions actually line up with your vision, your credibility becomes your superpower. Think about Satya Nadella at Microsoft. He didn't just talk about having a growth mindset. He lived and breathed it. He championed new technologies, he publicly celebrated learning from failure, and he actively sought out different points of view. His actions created this ripple effect that gave everyone else at Microsoft permission to embrace a whole new way of thinking and working. So, there you have it, the 4 pillars of what it takes to be a transformational leader. It's a journey that starts with a compelling vision, is built on a foundation of trust, picks up speed through the power of your people, and is locked in place by your own example. The evidence is just undeniable. Leadership is the absolute make or break factor in any big change. So as you face your next transformation, the question really isn't if leadership will play a role, but what role it will play. Are you going to be the catalyst that ignites a brighter future, or the anchor that keeps your organization stuck right where it is? The choice, really, is yours.